This is The Download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source of the essential news in the business of podcasting, brought to you by Spreaker from iHeart. I'm Gavin Gaddis, coming to you from beneath a blanket in a nondescript hotel in England. Here's what you need to know for today, Wednesday, May 22nd. First up, the 2024 Podcast Trends Tour. This is the latest report from Spotify, themed around trends identified in Spotify's podcasting data, such as the overall 172% increase in streams for podcasts about Taylor Swift the week of her Grammy win. Spotify also reports there was a 78% year-over-year increase of podcasts with at least one video episode on the platform. Next up, the business podcast listener, who they are, how to reach them. Signal Hill Insights does a follow-up to previous coverage of the podcast listening habits of business executives. This time around, they're looking at the wider world of business podcast listeners outside of just executives. The findings are built from 1,245 Triton Digital Podcast Metrics Demos Plus respondents Signal Hill Insights surveyed last year who have listened to a business podcast in the past week. Findings include a more diverse audience than the pool of executives, though they still value podcasts as educational tools over entertainment as their top reasons for listening, much like executives. Next up, how sell-side curation is reshaping the post-cookie supply chain. As the retirement of third-party tracking cookies looms on the ad tech horizon, one method of building media audiences for buyers gaining traction, once more, is sell-side curation. The process matches a buyer's first-party customer data to a publisher's first-party audience data to create private marketplaces, commonly known as PMPs. Now, sell-side platforms, SSPs, are building curated marketplaces and bolstering their connections with publisher first-party data. And finally, here's a heck of a headline to end out the episode with. Peppa Pig Audible podcast unveils launch date and name. The success and growth of kids and family podcasts continues with an iconic British pig. A previously announced deal between Hasbro and Amazon's Audible has now produced a podcast, Peppa Pig's Play-Along Podcast. I swear to you, this is the first take. Set to launch July 11th, is a variety series involving interactive games and sing-along segments, making the series more engaging than a pure listening experience. Be sure to check out all the links to every article mentioned right in your podcast listening app or at soundsprofitable.com, where you can also subscribe to the newsletter version. The Download is written and produced by myself and Brian Barletta. This episode is hosted on Spreaker. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis. Download us again tomorrow, where I'll still be in England.